Okay, so about 10 years ago, I was down in my basement of my house, and I was sitting there. My daughter came in, and she came running down the stairs, and she said, "Dad, there's orange triangles in the sky floating around." And I kind of ignored her, I was like, whatever. And then she loudly said, "No, Dad, there's orange triangles floating in the sky, and they're scaring me." And I was like, okay. So I jumped up, ran outside, and up in the sky, in the backyard, of course, are orange triangles floating around in the sky, about 20 of them. And each triangle had orange light on the corners. And they were just floating around up in the sky in this clearing in our backyard. And my son came up to me. My son came out and my daughter came out, and they both saw it. And I didn't have my camera, of course, and I said to my son, "Go downstairs to get my camera." So he ran downstairs, and I felt like I just couldn't leave. I didn't want to miss it, really. I felt like if I left and came back, they'd be gone. So my son came back again and was like, "Dad, I can't find your camera." And I was like, "It's in there. Go get it. Go get my phone." And so I guess it was upstairs. It wasn't downstairs. He told me later. But he ran in. He came back out. And by that time, they started. It was almost like there was a slit in the sky or a curtain that they went behind. But they all drifted off basically to the left and went into this sort of curtain in the sky and just disappeared. And that's the way everybody in my family describes it too. They floated to the left and then just went into this. We were trying to look around the tree and we couldn't see them anymore. It was like they just were gone. But one last one stayed and floated around. Also, there's a black helicopter floating in the sky above them, and it stayed the whole time, like it was watching them, obviously. And the last one stayed and came and floated around low, and that's when my son came up and we got a picture of the last one, right behind the trees. You can see the tree in my backyard and in the photo. And basically it floated around a little bit, quite a while, maybe 5 minutes maybe. And then it just finally faded off into that area that I'm talking about, where it was like a curtain in the sky. It just kind of went into it and they were gone. So they were floating over the high school next door. You could tell, like, they were above the sky, above the high school, basically. I don't know how far away, really, but they were about the size of maybe, a big helicopter, like those big presidential helicopters. Each one was about that size, and they were kind of phasing in and out of existence almost. The lights themselves would just disappear and be gone and come back, which made me think, well, okay, they're lamps. They're those lamps that they release and, for funerals or whatever, and you catch those balls of fire on, and float them out into the sky, and maybe it's these lamps or lanterns, but they were moving around in, formations like this, sideways, left and right and up and down, and, they weren't making any noise. And the last one, came towards us. And you can see in the pictures, it tilted towards you like this. And that's why, it's shaped like that in the pictures. So they didn't have anything inside of the circles that you could see, though. That's what was weird. Like, it seemed just like whatever was inside of the triangle is cloaked. And even I tried to Photoshop and blow them up, and you just really can see nothing in the middle of those, circles. So. Yes, this is the area where they were at when we came outside, all in the sky right here in the middle, just a perfect little viewing area, basically. And, as they left, the curtain kind of in the sky was, over this way. They all kind of floated around for a while, and the one came down and stayed, but they eventually floated like through this hole or through this curtain and just disappeared one by one over there. And this is the house in the backyard and where we were at, where it happened. And this is it. The helicopter was flying above it all, you know, the black helicopter. And the trees in the picture are pretty much right there. Of course, the leaves are dead because it's fall, but that's the area where the last UFO was flying around and kind of hovered, and let us get a good final picture of it. So previous to this, I wasn't really interested in UFOs necessarily. I mean, not as a profession or anything. Now I host a show about them because it's, you know, it's got me interested, obviously, and I'd like to know what's going on now, you know, so I'm definitely interested now. I mean, I'm 56, and I've never seen ghosts. I've never seen Bigfoot. These are real, you know, so it's got me, you know, interested that something was flying around up there, you know, and other people have seen them, and there's plenty of evidence everywhere. Whereas all these other things I just mentioned, not so much. A lot of blurry footage of you don't know what, you know, ghosts and Bigfoot, but there's pretty spot on solid footage of these triangle things flying around. Yeah, I look up all the time, yeah, and I never see anything like that at all, you know. You're always looking at a star going, what is that, you know, but I've never seen anything like that since then, never. My family and friends, when we talk about this type of stuff, when we talk about this subject, you know, they all say, you know, they saw the same exact thing. They didn't really necessarily want to be on video. They all felt like they had the same story as me. They'd be telling you the same thing over and over is how they felt. Friends, you know, I don't go around talking about this. It's not a thing that you just walk around and go, oh, I saw 20 UFOs one time. You know, people think you're an idiot if you do that. So I don't tell anybody about it. You know, obviously this is going to get some hits and some people are going to see this and I'm going to show it to people. But I'm not scared to talk about it. It's a thing. It's real. I can't help it. You know, sorry.